All right, everybody, how the hell y'all doing out there in podcast land? Y'all hitting some of them drums? Got a fun guest today in James May of sludgy stoner punk trio, now quartet technically, Black Tusk from Savannah, Georgia. I was able to catch up with James out on their tour with both Whores, fellow Georginians. Is that people from Georgia, Georginians? And with White Nails as well. And we got to talk about all kinds of good stuff, like to-go cups and public drinking and blacking out before shows and trying to maintain some semblance of sanity while on the road. Be on the lookout for the new Black Tusk record, which I like to call Taking Care of Black Tusk. Out everywhere you can find music as of August 17th, 2018. So it's just been a week. It's hot off the presses. Black Tusk also has about a week left on this tour with Whores and White Nails, and they'll be picking up back up on October 31st, down in New Orleans, actually, for the Metal Alliance tour, and they will be on that tour for the month of November. So be on the lookout for them. Shout out to my sponsor, New Orleans Record Press. If you, your band, or whatever project you're looking for is thinking about putting out vinyl, go on over to NewOrleansRecordPress.com for color, design, and mastering options, as well as real-time quotes. Give them a holler. And tell them Jody Smith and the Crash Bang Boom podcast sent you. You know vinyl sounds killer. It just sounds better. You know it does. So print that shit. So without further ado, here we go, y'all. James May, Black Tusk, Crash Bang Boom.
Crowds go mad with joy.
All right, James May of Black Tusk. What's happening, dude? How you making out?
I'm good, man. About 3 weeks into the tour. Got about a week left, and then be home. A few months, and then off to the Metal Alliance tour.
Nice. What's up with the Metal Alliance tour? Oh, well, before we even go there, I guess this tour that we're talking about now, y'all are out here with Whores. We're sitting here in Brooklyn right now on, and I actually don't know what waterway this is, but I think it's fairly toxic. I don't know if you'd want to go swimming in it. But
Sounds like the Savannah River.
Yeah, exactly. But we're here in Brooklyn. Y'all playing with Whores and White Nails, is it?
Yep.
Nice.
Yep.
And this run thus far has been pretty good?
Yeah. No complaints. It's been good turnouts, energetic crowds. No complaints on that. Yeah.
Right on.
Yep.
Congrats on the new record, by the way.
Thank you.
Can I just call it Taking Care of Black Tusk?
Yep. Yeah.
That's it? Taking care of Black Tusk every day.
Our bass player can't even get it right. He's TBCT.
Right.
I laugh at it every time he tries to do it.
Dyslexia can be tough on people, you
yeah.
know what I'm saying? But this run's been going pretty good. I'm looking forward to checking y'all out tonight, obviously. Couple of new things. Like I said, new record just came out, about a week and a half ago now?
Yeah.
You added a guitarist since recording it for you live.
We did. Chris Scary Adams.
Is he scary, or is it one of those like calling a fat guy slim? Like it's an ironic thing?
I guess so. He's not very scary. You know, when I met him, I didn't expect to meet him. When I heard this guy named Scary, I actually met him through John Baisley.
Oh, really?
He knew him from way back. You know, and
John Baisley of
Baroness. Yep.
Yes.
From when they were in Savannah. You know,
okay.
We would pal around all the time. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
And John, correct me if I'm wrong, has done a few of your album covers, correct?
Yes. He at this point I think they said, but at some point he said, I've done more album covers for you guys than I have for my own band.
Y'all probably put them out a little bit quicker than I think Baroness might.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about this other tour that you were saying you're all going to. This is going to be Metal Alliance.
Metal Alliance. Goat Whore is doing the headlining.
Okay.
And it'll be Casualties, Direct Support, and we're right before the Casualties. And then there's I've 4 other bands that are on the package, I think.
Okay.
It's going to be a good one.
How long are y'all going to be on that run?
About 5.5 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, in the interim, man, in between doing all these runs, what do you do with yourself when you get back to Savannah?
Go to the local watering hole and work. Yeah, over at a place called the Jinx. And if you're a band that's played in Savannah, you know the Jinx, and you probably know me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right on. So you've been able to sustain yourself when not on tour?
Yeah. You know, things get stagnant after a while. This was the longest break. I mean, we played shows and we would go do like some festival fly-ins or whatever, but we didn't tour for, you know, because of obvious with the Athon things and getting the new band together. We didn't tour for like a year and a half, which is insane for us to sit at home that long. But
been road dogging it.
Yeah, we were like, there's really no point until we have a new album. So some people, because we toured so much, a lot of people didn't even know if this was a band anymore.
Right.
You know,
just
so
maybe assumed y'all had called it quits.
that was why the TCBT thing was like, we're just calling it that, you know, because that's what we had to take care of us, you know, take care of our shit, you know, like, you know, get us back together.
Yeah. Well, in addition to, I guess, adding this new guitarist, and like I said, you got the new record out. I really like the story about how this band started in the first place. Can you run that by me again? Because I think it's a pretty funny story.
Yeah. We were all living. Andrew and Athon lived with about 6 other people in this 2-story house up the street, and I lived with a couple of roommates down the street, and literally within like 3 days, their old band broke up, and my old band had broke up. So we basically just took the surviving members. I remember they knocked on my door and came to the door, and they were like, "Hey, man, you want to start a band?" You know, it's like, yeah, and it's like, let's like really do it though. Like if we're gonna do this, let's be serious about it. You know, like no bullshit. Let's really do a band. And then it's like, well, let's just do it with 3 members too. Less members, less problems.
Yeah,
you know, like
I'm into it.
Yeah, we were like, so we just went for it. Like 2005, got 3 songs together. I think there was about 6, but the other 3 didn't make it.
Right.
Yeah, and
3 made the cut.
Yeah, and When Kingdoms Fall, the first demo EP, whatever thing came out. I think 3 months later, we were already recording something. You know, because we were really at that point just gonna prove we're actually gonna do it. We're gonna tour. We're gonna, you know. So that's how the band, and you know, Andrew and Athon and I had known each other for a long time before then. You know, but that was pretty much the story of how it went. They said they wanted to snatch me up before somebody else did, you know.
Right.
So, yeah. So.
And it worked.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Well, like growing up, and you grew up in Savannah as well?
I'm the only one that is officially from Savannah.
Okay.
Like, I mean, Andrew moved there when he was 8.
Right.
You know, and Athon too.
Right.
Athon was from Savannah as well.
Okay.
But in the band now, I am the only one that is officially from there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was telling you, man, earlier, I dig your town, man. I got accustomed to drinking in public and walking around the streets drinking and around oak trees and shit. So being from, you know, having the New Orleans vibe.
It messes me up on tour, man, because I try to walk out with a drink and then snatch you up. And like, from where I'm from, this isn't that big of a deal.
It's not. Yeah. It's not. And it's hard to tell people that. But I guess I've literally whipped my license out before when I still had a New Orleans license just to be like, dude, I'm just accustomed to walking out of bars with drinks in my hands, man.
You know, like, you don't heard how we do it? You know, like, so, yeah. And I mean, being at work, bartending, I've tried to give people to go, like, drinks before. And they're like, is this a joke? You trying to get me arrested? You know, It's like, okay, well, don't take it then. Do whatever you want.
Do whatever you want.
Yeah, man.
Nice.
That's what the plastic cups are for.
Exactly.
You do whatever you want with them.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, man, growing up, I guess, when did you first start getting into like heavier music and in particular drumming? Was it all around the same time, or what did you grow up listening to?
I was like one of those kids that was fortunate enough to have like my babysitter had a metalhead boyfriend, you know what I mean? So by like first, second grade, I was, you know, listening to Guns N' Roses, Motley Crue, Metallica, you know, like so really young. And I was, as far as drumming, I played buckets in my front yard. Yeah. Till my mom finally got me a drum set. It was just a little tiny little Adam drum set. You know, I destroyed it within like a week. Right. You know? And then I got a couple of used sets, and then finally got my, you know, first real drum set. But, you know, basically with with my mom, I had to prove that I'm not just buying you a drum set and you get over it in a
right.
week. Yeah,
because you're going to be the one making all the fucking noise in the house as well.
Exactly. And when I got older, I was like, man, I don't know how you put up with that shit.
Me neither.
Me learning how to play drums, it's the worst thing ever. Any other instrument, you can just turn it down.
Right.
And people think like, oh, if I hit them harder, I'm better.
Right.
So I'm sure I was fucking horrible at first, and she had to just put up with it.
Yeah. It is amazing. I think the same thing, and it's a common occurrence and common theme in talking to drummers, because inevitably, because you have the biggest instrument and the hardest transport, not only do you end up having the drum set generally in the house, but then all of your friends are coming over to jam there as well.
Yeah, they all want to.
Right.
Yeah,
so then not only did they have to hear you sucking on the drums, and they had to hear your shitty bands as well.
Man, that scene in Step Brothers where he's like, don't touch my drum. Man, I know where you're coming from. It's like my friends would all come over and I'd just be like, don't touch. Okay, don't hit them that hard.
Right.
Cymbals cost a lot.
I know.
This is before endorsements and all. You're just like a kid like trying to just have this nice drum set that you see, because MTV was around when I was a kid.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
right, exactly.
That's how
But it
I
actually
knew
played
what
music
to get.
videos as well.
Exactly. Yeah, it was music videos, music TV, and we lived it.
Right. Headbangers Ball.
Oh my God, yes, man.
I used to. I
that
never
was the
had
Bible back then.
It really was, because that's if the bands weren't coming through necessarily, like that was kind of your portal into figuring out and hearing those bands, So, and I would get to get friends to VHS tape it and whatever. So then I'd go over to their house because I didn't have cable. So then I'd be like, all right, tape it, then we can watch it, and then I could get there and just watch all these videos.
Saturday night and midnight. That's what I was doing when I was a kid.
That's all.
12 to 2 was important in my life.
Yeah. What was is there any particular album you look back on that you still feel influences you still to this day?
Man, the first cassette that I would say, like, I remember the same, like, my babysitter, I remember she let me borrow Appetite for Destruction, and I just listened to it over and over and over. And then
that record still fucking rules.
Yeah, it still rules, man. I still listen to it to this day.
It's incredible.
And I remember she came over and I was like, you want your tape back, don't you? And she was just like, you can have it. And I was like, yes,
winning.
Yeah, dude.
That's awesome.
As a kid, I didn't have no money. I couldn't buy, it's like, so that album's just like, does it for me.
Yeah. Still to this day.
Still to this day.
Fucking incredible.
You put on Appetite for Destruction, I'm down.
Yeah. It's incredible. I actually went and saw them recently in the last couple of years or whatever. I know they did this giant world tour, and it was awesome, dude.
Yeah.
It was badass.
And Steven Adler's still the best drummer for them.
He definitely had a thing. I mean, that was that band,
Yeah, man. I mean, I wasn't in the band with them, so I don't, that's their problem. But as far as being a fan, and it's like Steven Adler was killing it.
Yeah.
Man.
Now we were talking about crazy autobiographies. I read Al Jurgensen's from Ministry is crazy, but Steven Adler's is as well.
Yeah.
That guy, I mean, went into a coke-induced stroke and was super fucked up for
coke
a real
and vodka.
long time.
I mean, man, I can imagine you got kicked out of the biggest band in the
planet,
world at the time,
Might affect your...
I mean, dude, Axl Rose was the reason why Adam Curry didn't do Headbangers Ball anymore.
Yeah.
Because Ricky Rotman was at the Cat House, and he was friends with Axl, and Axl said, this guy wants to do it. So, and then, okay. That's how MTV did it. It was like Axl W. Rose told me that this guy wants to do it, so bye, Adam Curry.
Amazing. Jesus Christ, dude. Well, we talked a little bit about working and this and that and the other. You had mentioned that because you've been doing bartending for quite some time, you have a crazy sleep schedule, but with recording this most recent record, you were tracking drums at starting at 10 p.m.?
Yeah, man.
Your shift. You were going in for a shift.
Yeah, man. It was the best, man. I'm seriously a vampire. If you let me be on that schedule, I don't see sun too much.
Really?
If you see me in the morning, then it's not because I'm up having coffee. It's because I'm still up, dude.
Right.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And you felt like do you feel like your performance benefited from being able to kind of work within your kind of time zone that you operate in?
Yeah. I mean, because when you want to come in and play,
right.
It's not like I've ever just given a sloppy performance on a record,
no,
you know what I mean? But when you want to and you're like, I'm up, I'm aware, this is what I'm going to do when I go in and everything, I can hear the difference between the drumming on this new album and other albums. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, it's way more upbeat, and I just remember the feel of it. So to me, it makes me feel like the drumming was better. That
Right.
way, you know?
Right. I can see that.
Yeah.
Now with doing vocals and playing drums in like bands prior to doing Black Tusk, had you done vocals in that band, or did you start when you started doing Black Tusk?
Never.
Okay.
And
All right.
it's weird. Like, it's a hard thing to do.
Yeah.
You know, but now I can't imagine not doing it.
Yeah.
You know, it's automatic. It's nothing. But I remember first doing it and being like, I can't sing here, guys. You know,
Right.
Yeah, it's like it's definitely something to get used to, and I had never done it before. Andrew and Athon had heard me just like singing or screaming or whatever,
Yeah.
and they were like, "Man, I like your voice. Like, can you try to play and do it?" You know?
Right.
So,
it usually takes some coaxing. If you had to do it on your own accord, half the time it seems like it wouldn't happen. But
Yeah.
with them saying, "Yeah, come on, get up in it," there you
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
Boom, it happened.
Yep.
Well, you mentioned Athon as well. Obviously, for those who don't know it, tragic passing of him. Original member. It was a motorcycle accident.
Motorcycle accident. Our merch girl Emily was in the accident with him.
Oh, man.
And we still carry her with us to this day. You
Wow.
know what I mean? Like, she rolls with us. You know, after she got out of the hospital, you know, she was really messed up from the wreck. You know, broke her pelvis and ribs and everything.
Oh,
We were
Jesus.
visiting her in the hospital too. You know, crazy shit going on.
Yeah.
And when she got better and everything, you know, she was in a slump as well, and you know, we like, you want to start traveling with us? So
Right.
we still take her with us almost 4 years later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure, assuming, following that instance, that there was clearly some uncertainty with the band and whatnot. But what was the process of then finding your new bass player? Or I shouldn't say new, but he's been in the band for quite some time. But he's kind of the new guy, I guess.
Corey is, I knew him from Kylesa,
Okay.
and he was doing this other band called Niche that is nothing like Kylesa or Black Tusk. He's one of those people that can play anything, too.
Right.
And he was doing that band, but, they weren't really touring too much or anything, and it was kind of like, all right, we had a tour with Black Label Society that was within the next 2 months, and it was, I don't know if it was a good, and we had 2 tours that were set up before
Right.
the accident with Athon, and they were big tours too.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it might have been better that those tours were already set up, because it
Gave you the
forced us
incentive,
to
yeah.
be like, we got to make a decision, and we
Right.
gotta make it pretty quick.
For
You know what I
sure.
mean? So we talked to him. It seemed like a respectable, someone that would respect Athon's old position. Came in, played the songs like Athon did with his own little thing. And it just worked. And he was a Savannah person too,
Yeah.
so it wasn't like messing, to me with an alien or something.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, but yeah. So
Yeah.
he knows how we roll. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Nice. And then obviously, I don't think I think we talked about it before we actually hit the record button, but the new guitarist as well, guy that y'all worked with, and because of what y'all did sort of in the studio and how y'all layered the guitars on this record, which was the 3 of you in the studio, you then thought maybe we can bring in an additional guitarist to get the bigger sound and kind of get closer to how maybe some of those sounds were on the record.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, and it's just like a fuller sound on stage.
Yeah.
And like, man, when you're on big stages, 3 people don't fill it up.
Right.
Like it looks.
Y'all
better.
just need to get fat, dude.
Yeah, and I try. Like I want to be fat.
Yeah.
Like, it looks good across the stage. It makes me feel really comfortable.
Yeah.
Having Andrew move to the middle
Uh-huh.
and and it's like my bros are everywhere. You know what I mean?
Flanked by bros.
Yeah, it's like I love, like, right when we did the first show, that I was like, I don't want to go back to the old way.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Well, with all the touring that you've done, do you have any particular rituals? I like asking people that because I've found that it was just hard to feel even remotely healthy whenever I was doing any kind of touring, just because it's kind of, as I described it, the going from drunk to hungover cycle for me, and then just trying to work that into a daily regimen, and like, God damn it,
it's you get used to it. Yeah.
So maybe you didn't figure out anything in particular. You just figure you've been able to roll with it.
I mean, man, I take vitamins, try to eat as well as I'm gonna eat.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not angels by any means. You know, we like to have fun, to say the least. I don't know how much I can talk about that, but you know, like so yeah. I mean, it comes with it. You know, like if I ever feel any sort of judgment from another band member for being hungover or you know whatever I'm feeling that day, I go, hey, I forgot we're not in a rock and roll band. You know?
Exactly.
It's like, of course, man. Like, what do you expect?
Right.
You know?
Well,
I'm living the life for the people that want to live it.
Exactly. I'm into it. Well, of the gigs that you played with Black Tusk, are there any particular ones that you feel were especially strange or were just like equipment meltdowns? Because I've got a fucked up story for you.
Equipment meltdowns, absolutely. Like Athon loved his Mesa Boogie.
Yeah.
You know, that was his thing and all that. But I mean, and they sound great, but I'd be damned if that thing didn't give him like so much problems. Like, you know, other than, you know, just like partying too much or anything. I in Johnson City, Tennessee, one time, I completely blacked out before a show.
Are you serious?
Yeah, Supposedly, I played the songs a lot slower than they were supposed to be played, and every time we would get done with a song, I go, "How are y'all doing out there?" Like, hey! I had to, like between every
song was the first song.
Yeah, it's like, "How y'all doing?" So yeah,
wow.
I did not feel good the next day, and yeah, but that's the. I mean, I played definitely drinking before,
right?
But I had never not remembered a show, and that's the only one that I can. Yeah,
that's fucking crazy.
To this day, do not remember ever playing that show. And if somebody was there listening to this, I'm sorry.
Holy shit, man!
Yeah.
Well, I've got one, and all the members of my band, we all do remember it. It just happened like 2 weeks ago. We played up at this club that we're not always the biggest fans of to begin with, and it's had electrical problems previously. Yeah. We set up, got everything set up. Guitar amp won't turn on. Bass, they would power up. Couldn't get any sounds out of them.
Man,
we didn't play a single note, dude. We broke our shit down and left. We didn't even play.
It's the worst, man. And I mean,
what?
God, it's the most frustrating thing ever. It's highly embarrassing.
Yeah.
No matter at any level you're at. Even I think if the bigger you get, the worse it is.
Oh yeah.
But you know, everyone starts freaking out, and then you know, even if you do get it fixed, you're playing the whole time just going, please don't break, please don't. You know.
Then it's in your head, and then it's fucking with you.
You're fucked up. The whole rest of the set, you're fucked up. You know.
Yeah. So that was a first for me.
I like sticking to the old drums, electricity. I can see exactly what problem's going on.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
I hit it too hard. That's the problem.
That's the problem. I hear you, man.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was definitely a first to set up and not play a single note, and then we have to repair some of our amps because of that. I was like, wow, talk about eating shit.
I didn't play, so I didn't get paid.
Right.
Now I gotta. I understand.
Holy moly, man. Well, what else is going on in 2018 other than obviously wrapping up this tour? Y'all have got the one we talked about that y'all going to be doing. Beyond that, I mean, does that take you pretty much out through 2018?
2018, that'll pretty much be the end. Maybe a few flying festivals, and then Europe.
Okay.
In the spring of next year.
Nice.
Yeah, because you got to do the East Coast touring, then the full U.S. Metal Alliance to cover that, and then you got to do the European,
Yeah.
So
when of the places that you've been in Europe, are there any ones in particular that you really enjoy playing or that you feel you're especially well received?
I love playing Germany.
That's what everybody says.
I love playing Germany, man. And Berlin is an awesome place. That's a catch-22 because it's so awesome. We have a lot of fun there.
Can't self-sabotage.
Yeah. So we usually wait to after the set, but yeah, we always throw down in Berlin.
I hear you.
So yeah,
that's awesome, man.
Yep.
Very cool. Well, shit, man. I'm looking forward to seeing y'all tonight. Psyched about y'all running around with whores. The band that is.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Y'all just running around with some whores on this tour.
It said that last night in the green room. It said whores. The band,
right, exactly.
Yeah.
Good clarification.
Yeah,
cool, man. Well, thanks for talking to me, man, and look forward to catching up with y'all tonight and rocking.
Absolutely, man. Thank you.
All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks, James, for hanging and talking some shit. Be sure to check out Black Tusk. Check out that new record, Taking Care of Black Tusk. Links and descriptions and all that info will be in the description of this podcast. Be sure to be on the lookout for them for the rest of this tour with Whores and White Nails, as well as on the Metal Alliance tour picking up in November. We'll catch you all on the next one, which will actually not be next Monday, because that is a holiday, and I'm going to be down in New Orleans, actually. It's a recurring theme with this. So we'll catch you on the following Monday, not Labor Day. All right, y'all. Crush, bang, boom.